Welcome everybody to Let's Dig the podcast. I'm sitting here with my beautiful wife, Danilee.
Hey guys.
So what?
That was really weird.
Why is your voice so deep?
Honestly, it's me overcompensating for my squeaky high-pitched voice.
Hey.
So sometimes I really try to find the bass in it,
Your
so I'm
voice
not so
is-
nasally.
And it's so squeaky sometimes. Like there's times Danilee's telling me a story. It's early in the morning. And if you guys know me, when I wake up in the morning, it's me time. I wake up early just so I can get me time. And Danilee will wake up, and she's learned over the last couple of years to not attack me with all of her stories, right? And all of her dreams that she had all night, because I don't want to hear it. And
Because you don't want to hear it? Is that what you said?
yeah,
Because I don't want to hear it.
And you're talking, and when I'm finally able to get my first words out, the first thing I say is, okay, first of all, why are you yelling? Right?
I know.
Every single time, why are you yelling? Why are you so
It's just
loud?
where my voice is naturally pitched.
And then you do this thing where you're like, I just can't hear myself. That's why I'm yelling. I can't hear myself. I say, well, duh, your mouth, the way sound waves work, it doesn't go in a circle to hit your ears. I'm like, your mouth is going straight towards my ears. I can hear you. It's okay.
Wait, that's not when I'm that's not when you're waking up in the mornings. That's more
true.
like when we're out. That's like date night when we're sitting in a loud restaurant and I'm yelling at him.
I'm just kind of talking like this. And when she goes, it's her turn. She's yelling.
And it's true. It's because I can't hear myself when I'm in this loud restaurant. And that's when he's like, Danilee, the sound doesn't take a circle back to your ears.
Yes,
it's
I can
coming
hear you.
to me fine.
All right. Let's focus here. Okay, so we're excited because it's 2019 and we're heading into the holidays.
Holidays.
Okay, you see how she did this whole...
I just literally sang it. Mm-hmm.
Yo, Danilee is so funny, man. Babe, you're funny. We could be in the car and she could have the worst day ever. All I got to do is unmute some Christmas music and she just changes. She's a different person.
He won't even turn it on. He'll turn the radio onto the Christmas music, but he watches me the whole time while he does it because he wants to watch my facial expression.
You turn into
literally
different person.
I melt. But how can you not be happy when you're listening to Christmas music?
I don't know, man. I just feel like you and I, we just had, different upbringing.
They're so different.
Just very different upbringing. So what the holidays is for me is not the same for you.
Yeah.
And even thinking about the last couple of years, the last 2-3 years, I think we finally got a hold of it. Where we're able to discuss the holidays before we go into holidays.
Right.
But when we first got married, I mean, we had some big fights about how many presents our kids are gonna have. We didn't even have kids yet. We just had a dog.
We were just talking about kids.
Yeah, I don't understand how.
So wait, basically, we fought about the kids that we didn't even have yet.
Yeah, and that's crazy, man. That's crazy what the holidays does to us, and it's just wild just thinking of the differences, you know what I mean? And so let's just jump into it. So you're listening to this, it's the holidays, and I know a lot of us are prepping for it. I know Halloween just passed, and Thanksgiving just passed as well, and we're heading into Christmas and all the other holidays that go around Christmas, like Kwanzaa and Hanukkah. I'm just listening. I don't know a darn thing about that stuff.
You sure don't.
Today, let's talk about the differences of the holidays expectation and what causes stress in our household. When it comes to money, when it comes to giving, when it comes to parenting and traditions. I think we need to talk about that big time because we fought so much in the beginning of our relationship because you had all these expectations and I had all these expectations as well, right?
Right.
And so, all right, let's do it.
Let's dig.
Thank you for tuning in to the Let's Dig podcast, where Pierre and Danilee invite you into their personal conversation. Listen to them dig deep to bring you hope, inspiration, and valuable tools to equip your goals. Learn ways to think beyond your current situation and help make steps towards a life you haven't even dreamed of. We all don't have it figured out, but as they dig, you'll dig with them and find some of your own gems along the way. So here are your hosts of Let's Dig, Pierre and Danilee.
Okay, so Just thinking of the holidays, I just thought of Halloween. So Halloween, just real quick, it's random. I came home one day and
goodness,
you had these things on Jordan's bathroom mirror.
Yes. Okay, wait. First, let's say, so throughout this episode, we're probably going to really touch quickly, but at least touch a little bit on like what Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, blah, 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 meant to me and my family growing up and the difference between yours. So for me, Halloween, we were, a very Christian-based home. We did get to dress up a little bit, but never anything scary. Why?
Never, Why nothing scary though?
That was just the rules. Like we could dress up as princesses and like animals.
But not like a zombie princess.
Never. Nothing scary. So like my mom decorated the house with pumpkins and everything was really like harvest, fall, like that stuff was fine. There wasn't like ghosts or witches or like anything like that. It was like Halloween was split down the middle. There was a good side of Halloween and a bad side of Halloween. Okay. So going into this Halloween this year, Pierre was going to be gone and I wanted to decorate the house for the fall season. So I wanted to pull out my pumpkins and little harvest things. And I asked him, are you good with fall decorations? Like, where are you at with this? Long story short, we found some window clings at Target for Jordan and it said Happy Halloween. So no problem. He's going to have a blast putting them on his mirror. It's fine. And they came with like these little tiny like black bats around the Happy Halloween sign. So Pierre comes home from his trip and sees the window cling. And apparently the bats do something to his soul.
See, in my house, the Haitian household, especially for all my Haitian people that are listening, they're very superstitious. Everything is, like the Haitian would say, c'est bagay job. That means that's that devil stuff. Everything's the devil. Everything's the devil. Like, your light turns off. Oh, the devil trying to cut off our power. No, pay the bill. Pay the bill. So we blamed everything on the devil, growing up and everything. If my younger brother or my older brother's acting up, my mom said he got the devil. He has a demon. And I'm like, nah, Mom, he's 16.
Right, just being a teenager.
And so I walked into the house and I went into Jordan's bathroom and I looked at the mirror and I jumped. I was like, what the?
It just said Happy Halloween and had little tiny bats.
Okay, so for us growing up, we kind of celebrated Halloween, but not really. We did the whole, trunk or treats, or there was like a couple of local churches that was doing events, so you would just come and we never was allowed to dress up. We weren't allowed to dress up. No
Wait, so you went to a trunk or treat and you just didn't dress up? You just went and got candy?
Hey, we went in our regular church clothes.
Oh, dang, bro.
Yes, and it said, who were you going at? I was going as a pastor.
You're lying your butt off right now.
I'm dead serious.
You are not serious.
I'm not.
You went in your regular clothes.
Regular clothes.
And when people ask you what you're dressed up, you said a pastor?
Or a teenager.
What lies? The lies. I cannot deal.
That's what. But think, babe, what are you talking about? Think about it when we first got married, or actually, you know what? When we first had Jordan, and we'd take him to these little things, and you would dress up as like Minnie Mouse or something stupid.
It was. Excuse me. First of all, it was cute.
Sorry, something cute. And then
thank you.
Me, I always wore my clothes. And what did I do?
I don't know. What'd you do?
Just said, they said, Pierre, who are you? I said,
I'm a dad.
I'm a escort. I'm a dad today. I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Wow.
Okay,
so talk about the sign when you came home.
I walked into the room and it was these bats on the mirror and pumpkins.
Guys, the bats were not even like, they were they were probably an inch wide.
Okay.
Like they were tiny little gel clings that go on the mirror.
This had nothing to do with bats. It was just the whole vibe.
But hold on.
First, and then it said Happy Halloween. I was like, what does that mean? Like, okay. Why are we wishing each other a happy Halloween?
Happy Halloween. I don't know. You just say it. But
see, that's not white people stuff. Because this don't even make sense. You just say it. Happy Halloween. What does that mean?
Needless to say, my husband came home, saw the bats questioned the meaning of Happy Halloween.
I'll rip that mug off.
And he threw it in the trash.
Jordan to this day is still asking where'd they go.
I told Jordan, I said, I don't know. I think Daddy had to clean the mirror because we had friends coming over. So I said, I don't know. Ask Daddy. He had to clean the mirror. Jordan keeps asking, Daddy, where's my sign? Where's my Weddles?
It's been a month and a half plus. And he still asks for. I come up with some good answers too.
Do you though?
I can't tell him that I threw
it away.
Okay. Here's my thing. You're just so festive.
Soup. I love it. Like my mom made it so special when I was a kid.
I feel like you celebrate some stuff and you don't even know why you do it. So like the whole happy Halloween. I'm not against Halloween because we dress up our kid. We do our things like, you know, like we do the candy stuff. I eat all of Jordan's candy, all that stuff.
You
so
do.
we do all that. My thing is there are certain things, if I don't understand it, I don't want to partake in it. And I feel like you're the opposite. You just partake in it because just like you just said earlier, I quote you said, that's just what people do.
True.
So I just don't understand, why do you guys do that? Like, why, like, is that just a thing or?
I don't know. I think it's just, you know, it goes along with, and we can get into like the tradition things. It's memories. It's fun. It's, you know, nothing negative in my experience was ever attached to Halloween. Of course, you hear the stories and the rumors and like, you know, there's, you know, super religious people that are like, oh, you don't even go out on Halloween because all the demons are in the streets dancing. So if you're out, they'll attach themselves to you.
That's real. I'm offended by that because we believe that growing up.
Okay. So
yeah.
Next. So like there's that extreme, but growing up for me, it was just a fun thing to create memories. And the memories, and this goes through every holiday, the memories and activities that you do around each holiday are so important.
Like carving pumpkins.
Oh my word.
That day, yo, Danilee, this girl forced us to carve pumpkins outside in the cold.
First of all,
I've never done that.
It was freaking 65 degrees. It was chilly. Not cold.
It was chilly.
Second of all, it was the first time that
Wait, hold on. Let's take a pause. I feel Oh, you know what? Guys, I'm about to tell on Danilee right now. Yo, earlier she flicked me off.
Okay, first of all.
You straight up two-hand.
Important.
Yo.
I just snorted.
You guys just heard that big sound? Yo, Danilee straight up two-handed flicked me off today.
I've already had to edit a few cuss words because I wanted to call you names on here. Anyways,
see that this is a Bible study podcast.
Oh my gosh, this was the first year that I was like, okay, Jordan, he's 5.5. He's old enough to appreciate carving pumpkins, is what I was trying to say. So let's carve a pumpkin. Let's make it really cute. So we go to the pumpkin patch. We pick out pumpkins. We come home. We find out that Pierre has never carved a pumpkin. I'm like, oh my gosh. So to me, when I was a child, the most fun part was the mess of clearing out the pumpkin.
Like
we had you cut the top,
we had two different types of household.
Scoop your hands and you get all the pumpkin seeds and guts out, and
where
it's
I come
so
from,
much
you don't play
fun.
with your food. You don't play with your food. What you doing?
Jordan
play with your food. See?
And Pierre, these punks were like, first of all, complaining the entire time.
It stunk.
Jordan was like, it stinks so bad. And I'm like, it's pumpkin, dude. Jordan would not put his hand in that pumpkin for anything on his life.
That's my boy. Hey.
Nothing. And so these two city boys reminded me that carving pumpkins is not important for the Aristil.
And you know what? Hey, you know, let's kind of talk about that for a second. Danilee, you were very hurt and sad by it because you had... Actually,
this one I handled a little... I have to say, I didn't cry. And I was like, well, that was a waste.
But I had to give you a hug afterwards. We gave you a hug afterwards and said, it was still fun. I'll do... Because Danilee...
And I said bullcrap.
Yo, she was carving this pumpkin.
Yo, guys, I made a Minnie Mouse pumpkin and it was dope. It was so cute.
Your pumpkin was actually pretty cool. I give that to you.
Thank you.
I just feel like you had this expectation in your mind. There was something that you did with your parents when you was a kid.
True.
And you enjoyed those memories. And a part of me felt like you were just trying to repeat that. Yeah, recreate that for us and our family.
Yeah.
And if this was a couple years ago,
oh, for sure. Then I would have been.
You would have been sleeping on the couch. You would have been, for sure.
Wait, why me?
I don't know.
No, I would have been devastated though. And so I feel like that has been growth for us in, our 9.5 years of marriage, is when we come to holidays, we always try to sit down and me and you conversate about, okay, what's important for you for this year for Christmas? Even last year was very different for us. We talked about it. You said, we talked about what was important for us. And we did something very strange last year, which was we opened our presents on Christmas Eve. And if you would have told me that 10 years ago, I would have lost my mind.
When I met Danilee 10 years ago,
impossible.
You guys had these traditions that you did as a family, which was, it's whatever. Everyone's different. Like I had all my traditions as well.
Did you though?
I don't know, maybe
exactly,
not.
You didn't.
But you had these traditions where like every Christmas Eve, everyone gets to open up one present.
Yes, okay.
But it's rigged. It's the present that has the pajamas in there.
Okay, yes. So growing up, me, my brother, and my cousin always had Christmas together at my cousin's house. My aunt would have a big party on Christmas Eve night. And at bedtime, me, my brother, and my cousin all got to open up one present. My mom would give us which one it was. And when we opened it, we always knew it was going to be brand new Christmas pajamas.
I remember the first time I joined you guys for Christmas and you guys did that. And it was weird because I sleep in my drawers.
And my mom got him like basketball shorts because she didn't want him to feel left out.
I'm like, yeah, I'll wear them tonight, but I'm just going to rock these at the gym.
And my mom always wants to like make him one of the kids, so he got pajamas that year.
Which, I will say I appreciate your mom for that.
Yeah, it's sweet of her.
Your mom did a really good job making me feel like I was a part
one
of it.
Of our kids.
But I will say for me it was hard. It was hard. It was hard to receive it because those weren't my traditions.
Right, or it would feel weird if your parents bought me pajamas.
If your mom didn't,
I could see that could be strange.
If your mom didn't do any of that stuff for me, I'd be fine with it because to me, I didn't expect it. I didn't know otherwise. Like, she would cut a check for you guys for the leftover money that she didn't know what to do for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd do the same for me. I'm like,
my mom has to do.
Thank you. I really appreciate this.
My mom has to make everything even. So, like, if she spent more money on my brother and couldn't find the remaining $27 for me, she will write me a check for that difference, or she'll put cash in an envelope and she will give me that remaining because everything has to be even.
Side note, this girl Danilee, she's like a money hoarder, but not when it comes to like I'm not talking about saving money, meaning like she just don't know what to do with this money. She can have a check in her wallet all the way through March, says Christmas money. And it's for like $45. She just don't know what to do with it.
I don't know what to spend it on.
Hey, but we're not going to talk about that.
It's not important.
Right now, we're just talking about these traditions, like Christmas trees.
Oh, Christmas trees. I feel like I'm exhaling and like ugh-ing every time because I have had, I don't want to say that I've had to change. What?
You remember that one time? It was 2013. We did the little tiny Christmas tree on the table.
Oh, the one when we were pregnant with Jordan. Yes.
Because I almost said, we'll need a Christmas tree. That traumatized
and I
you.
said that is unacceptable. We even have this Christmas tree now because we've talked about our apartments like 850 square foot, and Pierre talked me into this freaking skinny Christmas tree last year.
It's one of the pencil ones. It's dope. It's like the Charlie Brown one.
And he keeps telling me it's the new look of a Christmas tree.
It's
and I'm
nice. It's going to catch on.
This Christmas tree does not reflect the amount of Christmas spirit I have in my soul.
What the hell are you talking about?
It's true. This little scrawny Christmas tree. Now, granted, I understand there is validity in that we don't have a lot of space for a big Christmas tree, but this little skinny thing feels like it just doesn't do my heart justice.
But here's the problem.
Wait, hold on.
Here's the problem I had with you. I just felt like it wasn't like the Christmas you had growing up, the really big, real Christmas tree, and you felt like we were taking something away from Jordan. Even now, I hear parents say all the time, like, I don't want to keep my kids from experiencing a good childhood. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You create your memories for your kids unless you're trying to project onto them your childhood and you want them to repeat that. But I'm like, Jordan doesn't know anything else.
Right. So that's what I was going to say. Everything that you bring up, I I make this like, ugh, oh my gosh, Christmas trees or oh this, is because I have really had to have a lot of growth in the fact of in these holidays, it doesn't have to be the same to be great.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be the same as my childhood, and it doesn't have to be the same as what we did last year. So it can be different every year. It can be different from my childhood. All of it can still be good. But sometimes we put it in a box of like, well, if I don't get new pajamas, like new pajamas on Christmas Eve, that made me feel so special when I was a kid.
Yes.
So I wanted Jordan to experience that. But then I realized last year, I was like, wait, but then he only wears them for like a few, like, so I got him Christmas jammies early, like once we started watching movies. I was like, now you get to wear them all month leading up to it. Or, you know,
gotta
last
watch
year.
The movies.
Oh, we have to watch the movies. Like I don't think I've had any growth in that area. I still want to watch all my Christmas movies. I have already started watching them and it's not even December yet, guys. Anyways, that one I haven't grown on. But so even last year, we were talking about last year that we opened up our presents on Christmas Eve, but we talked about it beforehand. We talked about, okay, this is what your schedule looks like. Cause a lot of times with Pierre's job, he does have to play at a church or somewhere on Christmas Eve. So how does that affect our family? What are we going to do time wise? And then we talked about it and Pierre was like, let's open gifts on Christmas Eve. And I was a little hesitant, but I'm like,
because I'm breaking her traditions of
he's
30
breaking
plus years.
Because it was always about Christmas morning, waking up and opening up your Christmas gifts.
Here's the thing. Last Christmas, in my opinion, was one of our best Christmases ever because we made our own traditions.
It was our own
We didn't
thing.
do what your parents did, what my parents did. We sat down ahead of time and said, what do we want for this year? What do we need? What are the things that, okay,
what are things important
that are important that you say, I want these traditions to roll over? And what are things that's okay to not do?
Right.
Because we get so caught up in even Thanksgiving. Like, you know, I remember the first time I did Thanksgiving with your family, or it wasn't Thanksgiving. Maybe it was just it was like Christmas. It was like Christmas lunch. You know, like you guys, I mean, I know white people are different. Like, so you guys had the ham, you guys had the bread
ham,
roll,
I'm sure.
the mashed potatoes,
always,
but no rice.
Never.
If you ain't got rice, it ain't a meal.
Whoa,
you have to have rice and everything.
No,
you know,
way.
as Haitians, hey, you guys know I'm Haitian, so Haitians, we need rice. We need rice for breakfast, rice for snacks, even Rice Krispie treats.
The only time we eat rice is
rice
if you're
cakes.
eating chicken and rice. Like that's it. Like it's a casserole,
but
a casserole.
Even Thanksgiving, like you remember your first
my
Thanksgiving,
first Thanksgiving with your family was insane.
Yo, everyone came so late,
guys. I was ready to eat McDonald's. I was so hangry.
Cold. Everyone had to make their plate and put it in the microwave.
My father-in-law literally did not walk into the house until after 8:00
because he had some other things to
and
do.
We could not start without Pop. So
Pop
everything was cold.
And then right when Pop comes out, we need to have a prayer meeting.
We have to pray and we have to sing.
We have to sing. But here's the crazy thing, babe. Let's remember the last Thanksgiving with my parents, with my family. It was the most beautiful thing. Yeah, we didn't eat till 10 o'clock at night, but all of us sitting there with the grandkids around that piano.
Yeah, that was
everyone singing and worshiping. And
that was great. And we were shoving Doritos down the 2-year-olds' throats underneath the piano just to keep them quiet while we worshipped.
See, but
it wasn't a great moment.
At the end of the day, all the traditions out the window. We just had like it's like we have our priorities mixed up because we sat in a nice warm house with people that we love.
Yeah.
And we had a good time. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are going through during these holidays. We're getting caught up in stupid stuff. Some stuff is just silly. Even now that we're talking about and we're mentioning a few of these things, some of it is just silly. Like, yeah, okay, we have to microwave our plate of our plate of food. And we have leftovers
all the food in the world.
Last Thanksgiving was amazing. We hosted our first Thanksgiving at our home. In our last year, we were sad because we said we can't host Thanksgiving because our place is so small.
Right.
And last Thanksgiving was amazing. We invited everyone over in our little tiny space, and we had an amazing time. Like it brought tears to our family to know that, wow, we have such a great community. And we complain about little things.
Right.
We complain about our house is not big enough. So what? We have a house. We have a house. We get to live here. We get to have a good time. We bring family over, and we're complaining about wasteful things. You know, speaking of which, about a week ago, we had a lot going on, and I've been looking for a new laptop, and Danilee, you know, she's just getting some new cosmetic stuff. It was a Saturday. We had a Saturday off for the first time as a family. Jordan had a soccer game, and we had to go get Chipotle, and we're so caught up because we have to run back to the house and do this, and we have all these things to do. And while we're walking through the plaza, some lady comes up to us. She's pregnant, and she's asking us for some help. She's saying, hey, can she speaks. I think she might have been Indian or something like that. She probably could have been middle age or something, maybe late 30s. Actually, I'd say that. And she was asking for some help, and we were so caught up in our stuff, we just no thanks. We kind of just brushed off and said no thanks and just walked to our car. Yeah. The whole entire time, fam. Oh my gosh, Jordan is asking us. He's saying, what was she saying, Daddy?
Yeah, why didn't you understand her? Because at first when she said something, I couldn't understand her. I didn't know what she was trying to say. Her English was very broken. And so I couldn't understand what she was saying. I was confused. I just didn't get it.
Yeah, and we just brushed off Jordan the whole time too. And I finally realized, I stood there in that car, asked Danilee. We stood there in that car, and I said, man, I feel so bad. And she was like, why? I said, I just feel bad. And she said, for what? I said, that lady, she needed help. And we're just so caught up in all of our stuff, everything that we have going on. And, you know, we can't help her, or we didn't want to help her.
Right.
And Jordan's in the backseat asking, what did she want? What did she want? And I was too embarrassed to answer Jordan because I felt guilty that I knew exactly what she wanted, and I just didn't want to help. I didn't care to help. And, you know, and I'm going to put you on the spot. You know, Danilee kind of didn't believe the lady,
I was honestly, and it's a negative thing on my end. I was literally just so confused. Like, you know, living in LA for 2 years now, you really do get a little bit of like, what's the word I want to say? Like desensitized to it a little bit, or you actually don't trust people as much. Yeah. And so I honestly, she had like Middle Eastern clothes on, like she was really covered up, like dress, and I think she might have even had a headdress over her head. I don't remember, but she had clean clothes and a nice purse, and she was visibly pregnant, but so am I. And so I was really just confused and off-put by why a pregnant woman was asking another pregnant woman for food, which has no excuse whatsoever. Like that's what I was saying. It's a negative part on mind that my mind was so wrapped up in, wait, I'm confused. What are you saying? Yeah. Why do you have a clean purse and clean clothes? That shouldn't have mattered at all. Like it should have meant nothing. And I should have helped her in general.
Right. And that's exactly what I'm saying is we get in the spirit of the holidays, and it almost becomes like it's contradicting this oxymoron. Like, you know, they say this is the time of year where most people commit suicide.
Right.
And the irony is we need to be focused on others. We have everything we need, man.
Right.
We have everything we need. We're just getting caught up on the pumpkins and the costumes, on the Halloweens, on the turkeys, on the square footage. You know, do we have a big enough patio? And I'm like, we have everything that we need, and someone that's right here in front of us needs a little bit of help. And I get it. The lady could have been a crook. But that's not for us. That's not for us to determine that. Our son who is watching, he knows no difference.
Right.
And I felt, man, guys, I felt so guilty that I couldn't look Jordan in the face and answer him and saying she needed help, because I knew exactly what his question was going to be after that. He was going to follow up and say, why didn't we help? And so after that, man, I looked at Danilee, and babe, you remember I said, let's not do that again.
Yeah.
The next opportunity that we get to help someone out, let's just help them out.
And
let's just
say, more often than not, we've always taken that approach of, you know, if you give money to a street handler, we've always said, listen, it's not on us to determine what they do with that money. It's on us of whether we gave. And that's what God sees of our heart. So for the majority of the time, that is our approach. And for some reason, that day, that time, that I don't know. It just was a different thought process, and it was wrong.
I feel like we just get caught up.
Yeah.
We just get caught up in our agenda. We have so much, someone comes to ask for some help and you're like, I just can't think right now. I just can't think.
I just don't have the space to care for you right now, which is so terrible to say.
Or to even process this person's question.
Right.
And it's, for us, that's wrong, man.
Yeah.
Our instinct needs to be just to help. Yeah. Just to help. And you know what? I'll even share this next story. This one, I was hesitant to share because this is something I'm kind of embarrassed of, but I hope sharing this story really helps somebody out. I've been talking about how my family, I really push us to be, minimalist, to live with just the things that we need. If we don't need certain things, get rid of it. And every year I try to encourage all of us, let's clean up our closets. Let's give things away. Let's either sell it, and let's sew it or save it. And so I cleared out my closet. I had a bunch of stuff in there, stuff that was really in good condition. And I put it in a box, and I was going to take it to like a thrift store, or one of those consignment stores.
Right,
and
to like resell it?
Yeah, to resell it, make a little bit extra money because I spent money on this. I could make some money back. I thought that's going to bring me greater value than this stuff sitting in my closet doing nothing.
Right.
This box, people, it sat in a corner of my room for at least 4 or 5 months.
Which is more of my lane than yours, and it's very interesting that you did that.
And I'll tell you why, man. This whole last year, I've just been so caught up in myself, man. I'm caught up in myself, just all these things, my agenda. I'm trying to keep up with everyone else. I find myself just watching other people, trying to see what they're doing. And here I am. I have little things in my room that I can just be getting rid of, and I don't have time for that. And here's a crazy thing. I said, you know what? I'm not taking this box to a resale shop. I'm just going to take it to a thrift store and just give it away.
Right.
I'm just going to give the box away, go to Goodwill and give it away. It sat for another month or two. And guys, I'm embarrassed to say this, but yesterday I went and I was just annoyed by looking at that box, and I just went and threw it away.
I saw the box was missing.
Yeah, I just threw it in a dumpster for so many reasons. Some reasons where I can't even explain right now. Like, one reason is I was tired of looking at it. The other reason is I called my bluff. Said, you know what? You ain't gonna take it in for sale, and you're not gonna give it away. I said that to myself. Just throw it away. Jordan asked
some good stuff in there too.
We were walking outside, and I had the box in my hand, and I was so embarrassed, man. And Jordan asked, he said, "What are you gonna do with that box, Daddy?" Freaking nosy kids, man. They always ask all these dumb questions, man. I can't stand these kids. But he asked, "What are you gonna do with that box?" And I said, "Go kick your ball. Go kick your ball." He went, and because he's like a squirrel, he went to kick his ball, and I threw it in a dumpster, and I just said, "Dang, man." And so I just sat there and I said, "Man, we gotta come correct for these holidays.
Right.
We have to recalibrate. We have to put our minds on what matters the most, man.
Yeah.
What matters the most? It's loving others, giving to others,
right,
and taking care of the things that matter the most.
Right.
There's no reason why we're so caught up on silly things. And I just don't want that for us. And I don't want that for our kids. And I dare someone come to me and say, you're keeping your kid from having a good childhood by not letting him do this or not letting him go sit on Santa Claus' lap. If there's an opportunity for him to go sit on Santa Claus' lap, which, by the way, he knows Santa Claus don't exist. He said it to me last year. I said, "Ooh, buddy, there's a box of presents at the front door." I said, "Maybe it's from Santa Claus." He said, "Santa Claus is not real, Dad." But this year he said he's going to come through our chimney. I said, "We don't have a chimney." He said he's going to come through the front door. How he's going to come through the front door? He needs to buzz the call box on the I said, well, maybe he might do that.
On the apartment building.
But for someone to say you're keeping him from childhood, no, we create a childhood from him. And I would much rather teach my kids, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, I would much rather teach our kids, our son that we have and our baby girl that's coming March 2020, baby.
Yeah.
I would teach them the things that matter, loving people, giving. This Christmas, let's not worry about going to the mall and getting presents and sitting on Santa Claus' lap. Let's find a nursing home. Let's find a place where we can go and just help out, sing some songs, or bring my acoustic guitar or something, and we just bring some smiles to some people.
I think that was super helpful in the last few years, like kind of switching my mindset because I was so stuck on those traditions and they meant so much to me and they created such great, great memories for me. You would always, first of all, question why are the pajamas on Christmas Eve important? And obviously, at the end of the day, I could only say that they just made me feel special. There actually wasn't really a good reason to put behind, pajamas on Christmas Eve, for instance. So you would always encourage me to think about, like, why is that important to you? And then the other thing, too, is that you would always say, like, let the main thing be the main thing. So, on Thanksgiving, it's not about the food. My first Thanksgiving with your family, it was really hard to not have the dishes that meant Thanksgiving to me because
it was just about the food so much for you.
Yeah, totally. That's what I was so used to. But when I all of a sudden am an Indiana raised girl in South Florida I think we had like 25 people in your parents' house that year. Remember, that was the first Thanksgiving. And I was the only white girl in a house full of Haitians, and they did not have no mashed potatoes, guys.
We didn't have no casseroles.
No corn, no casseroles.
Why I have so many casseroles?
Casseroles are the joint, y'all.
But no rice. Okay, go ahead.
It was really hard for me, and I remember being sad. And from there on out, I actually just ended up making my own sides that I loved for Thanksgiving, and I brought them to your family the years going forward. But you just always said, let the main thing be the main thing. The main thing about Thanksgiving is not food. The main thing about Christmas is not presents.
Yeah, it's gratitude, man. It's Thanksgiving. It's
being thankful. And for Christmas, it is the birth of Jesus. And, we teach that, so we really try to drive that home so much with our son because he gets Santa Claus everywhere. And we watch the Santa Claus movie and we watch the Grinch.
We entertain
and we watch all that stuff. But nobody's going to drive home that this is the time that we are so thankful that God sent his son for us, to die for us, to be on this earth for us. No one else is going to drive that home with our kid unless it's us.
Right.
So, those were two things that I feel like, going through these next holidays in the next few weeks, while it gets busy, while you have all those fun things to do, and they are great to make memories, you can make them any way you want to. You make the memories, you make it special, but keeping like those things in mind of why is this important? Is this something that really should make the board and say like, this is something that I really value and it should be a part of our memories and a part of our holiday schedule or whatever. And then the other thing is just let's not forget what the main thing is.
The main thing. I love that, babe. I think let's let everybody go because I know this timer is running.
Okay, fine.
Happy holidays, fam. Obviously, you guys are going to hear from us again. I hope you're enjoying it. Be sure to subscribe, like it, rate, comment, all that stuff. And we'll talk to you next time.
See y'all soon.
You've been listening to Let's Dig, the podcast. If you've enjoyed today, be sure to subscribe, rate, and share this episode. Also, Pierre and Danilee would love to hear from you. Find them on all social media platforms at Let's Dig the Podcast. Thanks for digging with us. We'll see you next time.